I'm Dan Ackerman, and we are here taking a very first look at Apple's brand new MacBook Pro with Retina display. This is kind of a new entry in the Apple laptop line. They've got the Air, they've got the Pro. This is a variation on the Pro, available only for now in the 15-inch size. And of course, it's that Retina display that makes it special. It's got a 2880 by 1800 resolution that is unheard of in laptops, and kind of like on the latest iPhone and on the latest iPad, it makes text and images look very crisp on the screen. If you have an app, like some of Apple's native apps, or like Photoshop from Adobe or some other apps that Mac people use a lot, that's specially set up to work with the higher resolution display, then things are going to look really great on there. Also, it'll be a while before every app is kind of modified or updated in order to work with the new screen. Now, of course, on a Windows laptop, you pretty much top out at 1920 by 1080. The reason why this display works is because it's got a different DPI on the screen, so things actually look the correct size, much like they do on your iPad 3rd generation. Now, besides the big screen, the other big deal about this new system is that it is much thinner and lighter than your typical MacBook Pro. It's got a lot of the DNA of a MacBook Air in it, and I really thought it was almost 50-50 or 60-40, but now that I've got to see it up close and handle it, it definitely leans much more towards the Pro side. It's got these side speakers right here, like you have on a MacBook Pro. It's squared off and slab-like instead of tapered like a MacBook Air. It's actually just about as thick overall as the Air is on the thickest part at the back of the Air, maybe just a hair thicker. It is, however, a little bit heavier than you would expect looking at it and looking at how thin it is. It's about 4.5 pounds. I'd say this is a carry around 2 to 3 times a week sort of laptop. But if you've ever had to lug around a big 15-inch regular MacBook Pro, you know that that's a real arm breaker if you have to do that more than once or twice a week. Now, a lot of things on here are going to seem familiar. They got the same Apple keyboard that everybody likes, backlit, of course, and the big glass touchpad. A lot of Windows systems are coming close with the keyboards, and they're starting to come close with the big ClickPad touchpads, but they don't quite have it down yet. A lot of it is the responsiveness of the multi-touch gestures that just nobody else can really seem to nail. Now, under the hood, there's some changes to the MacBook Pro and Air lines that are also reflected here. These all have the new generation of Intel Ivy Bridge CPUs. That's the 3rd generation Core i series. And that includes HD 4000 graphics from Intel. That's the integrated graphics that actually work pretty good. You know, they're not fantastic. Fortunately, you also have an NVIDIA GeForce GT650 GPU in here, which is great to see a discrete graphics card in something this thin. And of course, it's solid-state memory only, as you'd expect. That's pretty much everything except for the 13 and 15-inch regular Pros. All the other Apple laptops have moved to this solid-state format, which I think, you know, it's just a lot faster. You have fewer moving parts. It does make you do a little more maybe picking and choosing about what you're going to save or store more stuff in the cloud, but that's kind of the point. I think the thing I'm most excited about, besides the dual USB 3.0 ports and the dual Thunderbolt ports, is something I never thought I'd see on an Apple laptop. That's HDMI. I've been asking for this for years. It's finally here. It makes it so much easier to just take this and plug this into a big TV or a projector or a monitor. I know Apple has stayed away from this for years. They finally, obviously, heard my plaintive cries and added HDMI for everybody. And now, in order to get all this, you're going to have to maybe save up a few pennies, maybe trade in your old MacBook, because it starts at $2199. That's pretty darn expensive for just a 15-inch laptop with only a 256 gig solid-state drive. You can trade up to a bigger one. Of course, that's going to cost even more. I'm Dan Ackerman, and that is the brand new Apple MacBook Pro with Retina display.
To create something that's genuinely new, you have to start again. And I think with great intent, you disconnect from the past.
If you never change anything, then what you can really engineer is kind of incremental. But when you're willing to change things, then you kind of open up a whole new world of design.
The new MacBook Pro is built for the very highest levels of performance. It's incredibly powerful and yet remarkably portable. It's without doubt the very best computer that we've ever built.
We focused on the features that matter most to notebook users, and we made huge leaps. For the first time, we're bringing the Retina display to the Mac. It's the highest resolution display we've ever put in a notebook. With a resolution of 2880 by 1800, This display has over 5 million pixels. That's 3 million more than an HD TV. At this resolution, on this screen size, pixels just seem to disappear. You see an extraordinary level of detail in your photos. And typography looks amazing. It's sharper than a printed page. Beyond the display, the new MacBook Pro is really a powerhouse. We knew that an all-flash architecture was a key part of driving performance. Flash delivers data up to 4 times faster and uses just 10% of the space that a traditional hard drive would use. When you combine that with the most powerful graphics chips, the latest quad-core processors, and the fastest RAM available, you end up with a machine that's incredibly responsive. Loading and working with your content is amazingly fast because we packed this machine with the latest I/O. It has 2 Thunderbolt ports, 2 USB 3 ports, and 1 HDMI port. With all of this performance, the new MacBook Pro gets up to 7 hours of battery life. And it's only 0.71 inches thin. That's 25% thinner than our previous generation MacBook Pro. And it weighs just under 4.5 pounds.
The new MacBook Pro would seem to be a complete contradiction. It's built for extreme levels of performance, but at the same time it's remarkably portable. To create it, we rigorously question the ways in which we've designed and built our portable products in the past. One of the most significant challenges was completely changing our approach to the design of the display. By building the layers of the display into the unibody, we actually eliminated the need for a separate cover glass. And without the additional layers, without the distractions, you're just completely immersed in your content. By not purchasing standard parts, but by designing and engineering components from the ground up, we can create a product that is more elegant and that's more efficient. And there are many design innovations in the new MacBook Pro that users won't actually see, but they'll certainly experience. For example, the thermal system, which enables the machine's incredible performance, operates in a way that is nearly imperceptible to the user. Air is pulled into vents and propelled through sculpted cavities by fans with asymmetrically positioned blades. In most fans, the blades are positioned symmetrically, which creates a single identifiable frequency. We positioned ours asymmetrically to spread the sound over a variety of frequencies, which makes it seem quieter and less intrusive. Every part of the enclosure makes a contribution that directly benefits the user. The vents are also part of the structural system, creating strong beams that actually increase the rigidity of the overall product. It truly takes an obsessive approach to make a product this meticulously designed and engineered.
We've been able to optimize the software to take full advantage of the Retina display, and the results look simply amazing. Aperture on the new MacBook Pro is a total game changer for photographers. They can now zoom in and see 4 times more of their image with pixel for pixel accuracy, and fine-tune even the smallest details. Photographers have never been able to work on images with this level of precision. Final Cut Pro 10 takes full advantage of the system's power and capabilities. So you can now stream up to 9 camera views simultaneously, or view full 1080p video right in the project viewer, and have plenty of screen space to spare. No other notebook comes close to this type of performance.
With the new MacBook Pro, we set out to design something extreme. And this led us to rethink everything about our process, everything about what's essential to a notebook. And that meant that we could design the very best computer for today and for the future.